I can't believe you did it again. I waited for 2 hours. 2 hours! Not a single call, not a text. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was, just sitting there alone?
Look, I know, I'm sorry, all right? Work was a complete nightmare. My boss dropped a critical deadline on me at the last minute. I didn't even have a second to breathe, let alone check my phone.
A nightmare? That's the same excuse you used last time. I'm starting to think you just don't care. It's easier to say work was crazy than to just admit that I'm not a priority for you anymore.
That's not fair. Of course you're a priority. You think I enjoyed being stuck in that office, drowning in spreadsheets while knowing I was letting you down? It was stressful and I felt terrible.
I was really looking forward to tonight. I've had a rough week and I just wanted to see you. When you don't show, it doesn't just feel like a broken plan. It feels like I don't matter.
You're right.
Okay,
it's not fair
right.
to you.
You don't matter.
There's no excuse. I should have found a way to let you know, even if it was just a 30-second call. I messed up. I'm really, truly sorry. How can I make it up to you?
She has emotion. I feel like he does not.
He sounds like he's in an entirely different space.
Right? Totally different conversation.
Like, no, I mean, like they're in different places. Like wherever he was, his voice is captured from. He's like in the bathroom or something. Like,
yeah, his had more reverb, but that is some emotional, expressive voices from Microsoft that can be used on device, apparently.
Oh, so you can make it your narrator voice?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can make it your narrator voice, but you can encompass it into programming. And hopefully, my hope is, by the way, shout out, thank you, Taylor, for introducing me to more stuff to ruin my productivity. But my hope is that we can translate audio. They have multi-languages available as well. So, and listeners, I didn't even warn Demasi. He just came in because how long were you there? I thought I disabled waiting room in here. I didn't
about 5 minutes.
Yeah, sounds about right. I was like, oh, maybe he's running late, but usually he lets me know when he's running late. Yeah. So, anyways, that's what I'm going to be playing with over the weekend, I think. I don't think I will want them to be that emotional, but so here's a problem I've been facing. Google AI voices, you remember them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're good voices. I like them. They do the job. The problem is Michael doesn't know how to use Farrago because I was going to have one of the female voices play real quick, but apparently I can't find it. So the problem, though, is if you let the voices play for... Oh, no, I have one here. Here's an example of one of them. Oh, no, here is an example.
Welcome to segment 2. In this segment, we'll cover how hosting works on a practical day-to-day level.
And I'll leave it there. But like that voice, it's pretty clear. There's a little bit of artifact sounds that if you listen carefully, you can hear. For a TTS, it's pretty darn good. The problem is after 3,000 characters roughly, the voice, I would say it's probably about 2,500 to about 5,000 characters. The voice slowly, like you heard that voice, it had a little bit of low end there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The voice will slowly lose its low end. So it's like someone's sitting there on an EQ, just sliding the low end out.
Rolling all that low end off.
Yeah, and it gets to sound a little weird. Yeah. But so my solution was in a Python script that I crafted, and I got this idea from Jeff, chunk the text at 3,000 characters because we ran into an issue with, I think it was OpenAI when he was playing with it first, where the maximum amount of characters they would take is like 5,000 at a time. Google doesn't care how many characters you feed it. It's just going to keep taking the low end out. So at about 5,000 characters, you're like, I can't handle this anymore.
Maybe they do care. That's just their way of imposing limits. Instead of cutting you off at a hard limit, we'll just make it. It's kind of like that. So they're using that same philosophy that Rogue Amoeba does, right? So if you're using loopback and you don't, you're not licensed, right? Like you get a 10-minute demo, but then after that, they just start randomly inserting noise in your stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. So Jeff's idea that he came up with, which makes a lot of sense, a couple years ago when we started playing with these remote AI voices, was find the end of a sentence or paragraph and chunk your audio at about 3,000 characters, give or take to the nearest paragraph or sentence ending. Because you don't want to cut it off in the middle of a word, because that does some weird things. But so one of these trainings here that I have here, I got I did that. I chunked it, and everything worked good. But with Google AI, it is so emotional, you don't know what you're going to get back. So you could have that monotone, down to earth training voice, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of not the middle of a sentence, but in the middle of a paragraph, all of a sudden you get this really low, sad, depressed sounding voice, and it slows way down.
Let me tell you about hosting.
Yeah, it's very jarring, very jarring. So I mentioned that on chat today, and Taylor's like, "Oh, I found these voices." I'm like, "Great, yet another thing to play with." And then Doug's like, "You should get Cloud Code." So that's how that Cloud Code conversation came up. And when Doug says you should do something, you probably should do it. Just saying.
I mean, in this particular instance, because I've been playing around with Cloud Code, you should probably get Cloud Code. You should at least try it out, man.
But VS Code is so nice, and you can't bring Cloud Code into VS Code. Well, you can, but it's not the same chat interface that you have with GitHub Copilot. I'm so used to that.
Is it not? I haven't actually tried it because VS Code still just doesn't stick for me for some reason.
Is it too clunky?
It is a little too clunky, for sure. Like there's a lot of navigational stuff, and I feel like from the brief time that I did spend trying it out on Windows, man, I got to tell you about a problem I'm having too as soon as I finish this. The brief time that I did use it on Windows, admittedly in a virtualized environment, it seemed a little cleaner in, I guess, navigation, because natively in Windows, with Windows screen readers, F6 is a key that you use some of everywhere. It is a part of your navigation and usage of a screen reader in Windows. It's been that way for 30-something odd years at this point, I would imagine. And if you take it back to your DOS days and having to type in, WordPerfect to launch the app and writing .bat files and all of that, you used F6 a lot in WordPerfect. I'm just saying, if you're old enough, you're really comfortable with F6. Mac OS, however, it's not a normal key in the browsing structure. And I feel like for that reason, it's not breaking a habit for me or getting used to using that key, is that it doesn't seem to be as smooth of a process even when it works, because it's just not natively integrated to how VoiceOver. VoiceOver is kind of oh yeah, F6, I should do this thing that this app is telling me to do right at the moment. That's right, I'm supposed to follow F6 when it says, when they press F6 here, I'm supposed to do this thing, right? It's kind of oh yeah, that's right. Whereas, on Windows, again, it's just you press F6 and something instantly happens. So yeah, it's clunkiness. And you know me, and people who have listened to me on rant or run my mouth or whatever it is I do every week on shows, know that I really don't care for, there are very few Electron apps that I like, and it's not a visceral dislike of it because they just took a browser and wrapped the thing in the thing or whatever. It's because they kind of suck for the most part. From my perspective, they're slower. They tend to have weird navigation issues in the way that I like to use the Mac. But yeah, there's that aspect of it. But most certainly, it just feels clunky. Sometimes you get trapped in a toolbar. I'm it really shouldn't be this hard. You know what? I'm just going back over here and I'm going to type it in drafts. Screw it. Yeah. Nova, which I have mentioned before from Panic, and I really should spend more time with Nova. It's just that I don't, so I haven't really submitted a lot of feedback to them here recently. It still has weird issues. It's a native Mac app, which I like better. It's close. It's the closest thing to TextMate. TextMate, man, TextMate takes 5 minutes to open now. I don't know what to do about that. It takes 5 minutes. Literally, I'll hit TextMate and I can go off and do a whole other thing and come back before there's a window up for me to do anything with. Nova is the closest thing to TextMate for me, and TextMate honestly is my favorite text editor like I just ever used. Like I would put it above WordPad, and on Windows, WordPad was my editor of choice. I would write stuff in WordPad over using Microsoft Word, even though I had Word free back then. But Nova has some weird issues with VoiceOver where like you lose your tracking. And again, I can't pin it down and just say it's a Nova issue specifically because of how VoiceOver is so buggy. But, random times it's not reading it's not reading everything on the line, or it's double reading a line because the text is wrapped. Okay, so let's take the sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And you type that into Nova, or you open a document that has that sentence in it. And let's say, even though in real life this wouldn't happen, the sentence wraps onto a second line at over the lazy dog. So the quick brown fox jumps is the first part of the sentence, and that's all on one line. The second part of it, over the lazy dog, wraps and is on a second line. What you expect to happen with VoiceOver if you're arrowing down through that document is it reads the first part, and when you press down arrow, it reads the second part that has wrapped, right, over the lazy dog. No, it's going to read the entire sentence again. So it will read the first part correctly, the quick brown fox jumps. But when you press down arrow, it's going to continue. It's going to read the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Okay.
So that is an annoyance, and I do not know how to fix it. And I did mention this to them in the beta years ago when it was in beta, because I did beta test the app. I don't care. I guess I can say it now, even if I can't. It's been years. Who knows? Statute of limitations is up. Plus, I paid for your app, so. But anyway, and I really should, spend more time like tweaking at it. But it's just there's oddities to it that I don't like. It's more designed also to be a web developer app, whereas I think the thing that I really liked about TextMate as an editor is like TextMate was just going to be what you wanted it to be. If you just wanted it to be a scratch pad like WordPad on the Mac, on Windows, or Notepad, like that's all it would be. If you wanted to install extensions, I think is what they call them, or add-ons or bundles. That's what we want to install a bundle so it can handle PHP code. Well, then now you got a PHP editor. You wanted to do Python, you got Python. You want to help with your shell scripts or some formatting niceties and nice little tools to help with that. You had that, but it was what you wanted it to be. And I don't feel like any of the editors I've tried since then, whether it be Nova, VS Code. I poked around at Cursor a bit. Cursor was more messier to me than VS Code was. Honestly, like it's still on my computer only because I have not yet wiped this computer.
Why not?
Yes.
Shazad, was it?
Thank you. Because I was about to say it wrong. I knew that wasn't what I was about to say. I was going to say Hazard, and I knew that wasn't right. Shazad, no, I have not yet sent this computer back to Apple yet. I'm going to get to it, but there is a ton of little details, little things that have to be configured. And if I don't have some things you can deal with on the fly. Some things I can't deal with on the fly. And like if I'm off the internet when I try to do said thing because I'm riding in the van with the laptop, and then something ain't going to happen that probably needs to happen. So I'm working on it. I have been slowly, steadily working on it, but I've also been trying to do other things. And frankly, for the most part, my computer actually still works. I mean, it does some weird stuff, which makes me feel like some of the insides have got shaken up a bit too, besides the screen being damaged. But generally, it functions. So I'm not too bent out of shape about the screen in the sense of like, I got to hurry up and get this thing back. It ain't like Mike's issue where you plug something into the headphone jack and it starts making weird noises. Like, it's not that. Or I plug in a USB device and then it just reboots. Like, if it was something like that, yeah, it'd have been gone.
Yeah. Well, mine I dealt with for a while. It was a while, and for similar reasons to Demasi. When you're using these computers every day, there's a process you have to follow to make sure you don't lose anything, even if you have stuff backed up. And typically, you're without a computer for about a week with Apple. Typically, so you got to plan around that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough. I still got the MacBook Air I bought a couple of years ago, so I'll still have a Mac. I don't have to resort to using this Windows laptop over here on the corner of the desk. Yes, it's still there in the same spot. I didn't even take it off when I moved the desk. It's still sitting exactly in the same spot. No, I'm lying. I did move it because I had to get the MacBook Air from up under it at some point. But yeah, it's just getting things set up on that computer, and I can't just do a simple, yank and pull because, I got more data on the MacBook Pro than is even available on the MacBook Air. And frankly, I don't need everything over here. To be honest, like there's certain apps in their folders, like Cursor, for example, that is still on my computer. There's a few other apps that I've downloaded. It's like, nope, that didn't work. Don't like that. Or, hey, I found an actual better way to do this. I'll just jump in Terminal and type this in and boom, 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 and that's done. So I don't need that app, but I didn't uninstall it because, well, who has time for that? Maybe the launch bar should make it a little easier to. That's a feature they could add. Just when I bring up an app, instead of me hitting return to open it, give me like command delete to trash it. Hold on, let me see if that actually.
I was like, can you not do that?
Okay, there's Cursor.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I think it did. Hold on. Yes, it did. Because Hazel just pops up and asks me to. Okay, I didn't even know this worked.
All you got to do is ask for the feature, right, Tomasi? They'll give it to you right away. That's AI at work.
Oh, man, I didn't even know that worked. Yeah, because Hazel just popped up and said, would you also like to get rid of these files? Yes, I would.
Have we talked about that recently? Like how I know you and I talked about why that's one of the reasons that we'll keep giving them money, but that's an amazing feature.
Yeah, so I do use Hazel, and I'm actually using Hazel on the Mac Mini. I got to tweak a script a little bit, but or tweak the setup a little bit, but I got it doing the thing where when I, well, man, this is my show, screw people. So YouTube specifically, but when I download videos from places on the internet using Downey, and if you come after Downey, I'm just going to go use YouTube DL, and if you go after them, I'll use. This is not YouTube DL because that's still forked in my Git repo. So, but when I download videos, right, I want to move them to a folder that will then be indexed by the Plex server, and I think I'm going to point channels at it too, just so I can kind of start building like a little YouTube-ish, but I haven't gone that far yet. I just got to move into a Plex folder, and to a folder that is being indexed by Plex that is mostly just going to be made up of like tutorial type-ish videos or interesting videos to watch about a thing. Not so much tied in with like movies, like, let's say just for example, if I had Cars, on here, or Finding Dory or something, that was in the Plex library that theoretically exists. These YouTube videos will not be there. Mixed in with those is what I'm saying, like not mixed in the same library. So I'm using Hazel, but I would continue to pay the upgrade pricing for Hazel every 18 to 30-ish months, somewhere in there when he updates it, just because of what just happened. When I deleted that app from my system, Hazel popped up because I turned on App Sweep. And it was like, would you like to also remove these files? I'm like, yes, I would, because I don't need them anymore because I just deleted the app and I'm not going to reinstall it. So therefore, I don't care about its preferences, its caches, or any of the rest of the crap that the app developer left behind. And here's a question for, we'll call him friend of the show. I think he's friend of the show, Doors. We need to get Doors on. Actually, I got a lot of developer questions. I say things and then I'm not sure, like what I'm about to say now, like I'm not sure if it's actually a thing that developers can do and they just don't do. Or if it's more difficult to do. But much like now with WordPress, I do know it's possible. I complain all the time about WordPress. When you delete a plugin, I feel like the plugin developer should, at minimum, give you an option, like a popover that says, hey, do you want to also delete the database tables, etc. Because sometimes you're deleting a plugin because you need to, delete it because you're troubleshooting and you're like, I got to reinstall or whatever. Sometimes you're like, nope, that plugin doesn't serve my purposes and it's got to go away, or I no longer need this plugin anymore, so I'm going to delete it. But they should clean up the tables behind themselves. Otherwise, you end up with, I don't know, a 10 gigabyte database file. So, man, you got more database than you got media. I don't understand how this happened. I'm curious to know, and I feel like it should be done. It probably can be done since Hazel just popped up and did it. When I trash an app from the applications folder on the Mac, why don't you clean up behind yourself? Like, get your crap out of my system, man.
If I deleted you, I don't want you to keep your stuff there, obviously.
And if I did, I would probably do the thing where I go over and copy out your folder out of the application support so I can put it back when I reinstall your app for whatever reason that has me troubleshooting to uninstall it to begin with. So yeah. Now here's a problem that I'm dealing with, and famously, I do not listen to the show that I'm on.
What? No one knew that.
The one time I wasn't on the show was when I was like, oh, I just queued this up because I got to hear this show because I wasn't.
And
there.
the other time he listened to it, Overcast queued it up for him.
Yeah, but I was like, man, I really got a great show.
Man, that's a great show. I wonder who makes those. How do you reach out to them? Feedback at technicallyworking.show.
It's like, oh man, this is a really good show. Oh wait, that's me and Mike. Like that kind of almost happened. But here's the problem I'm having now. So one, since I rearranged my office, and I did listen to a bit of an episode, last week's episode, because I was like, I don't know what I was on or what I listened to of me somewhere, some recording of me somewhere since I rearranged the office, and I noticed all this reverb happening. And I don't hear it as much in my headphones, mostly because partially I hear it now more than I was hearing it. I think with the P4, I wasn't hearing it as much because I didn't have the volume up as loud, and it also doesn't go as loud because there's not a way to like independently screw with stuff the way I can over here with my regular interface. But I am, there's a lot of reverb in here, man. And I got to do something because it's driving me nuts. But anyone listen to this episode, I'm like, man, I sound horrible. Like, this is not acceptable.
Was that last week's episode?
It was last week's episode.
I didn't think you sounded that bad.
I mean, compared to how I sounded on the episode that just randomly played that one time, like, yeah, it is awful. Go back and listen to an episode from like September-ish or something, because I know for sure I had to rearrange the office then and then listen to it now. But there's no padding up in here, right? Because all of it came down. Not because I took it down, because it just fell down, because the sticky tape, I guess, the double-sided tape couldn't.
My staples started coming out of my wall.
So, something a little more permanent is going to have to happen up here. Also, I foolishly thought that because so for people who haven't heard this, or if I haven't even really explained it before, so what I've done now is my office, my desk is along the wall so I'm in like a longer than it is wide room. And for the longest time, I had my back up against the very back wall, and the desk was facing out towards the longer part of the room. So like you had to walk all the way down the length of the room to get to my desk. There was a window that was to my left at that time because it was on the left wall from where I was sitting at. Well, now I have my desk facing that window, which just opens up into the garage because there's a garage and there's a garage door. So there's not really any outside right there. But you can hear cars coming by. And I foolishly thought, well, the microphone is pointed completely the opposite way of the road. It shouldn't pick this stuff up. Oh, man, I was listening to the little part of, what was that, 145 that I listened to?
Yeah.
I believe it was this same truck that just went down the road. It's like, man, that crap is loud.
And that's after Alphonic. So keep that in mind.
Now, fairly enough to last week when we recorded, the window was actually open. And the reason the window was open is because I'm also out here in the room where the water heater is. And I came in that day earlier and I was like, I don't know, it smells a little gassy. Not like I got a gas leak, but just like, just fumes probably just building up. Let me crack this window before I have to come sit down in here for like an hour. I'm going to take the laptop with me and go back in the house. This is what I'm doing. So I had the window open and I forgot it was open. So when we were recording the whole time, the window was open. So that made the noise louder because that window does actually do a little block. And I realized it one day because I was like, why am I here? Why is that so loud? Like, what the hell is it? I was like, oh crap, I left that window open. So I closed the window and it's not as bad. Yeah, I gotta get some foam back up here because it's driving me crazy. The other thing I noticed, and I got to work on mic positioning because my mic is slightly in a different place than it was, is breathing a lot in the microphone, man. It's awful.
Yeah, we both do that sometimes.
What the hell would this dude stop breathing in the microphone? What the hell is wrong with him?
It's funny. I was talking to someone about a call or something like, man, if these people just stop breathing. And I'm like, wait, no, that does not sound right. What I mean is if they'd stop breathing so loudly directly into their microphones, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so I gotta work on my mic positioning. Saying all that to say that like it is worth, even if you are conceited enough to be like, yeah, my show's great. I don't need to listen to me. It pays to listen to yourself
every once in a while.
Every once in a while, just to make sure that you haven't started to, drift on your skills. Because I remember when we first started, that was the thing that we both really paid a lot of attention to, was like working on mic positioning and trying to get, we used to watch YouTube videos. Me and Mike used to swap links back and forth about YouTube stuff or podcasts where people were talking about mic technique and room treatments and ways to kill noise and all sorts of things. You remember the podcast engineering?
Podcast engineering guy? Yeah. There
were some other shows too. But yeah, so it pays to occasionally check in on your stuff, even when you feel like you're great, just to make sure that you're living up to your own expectations, which I am not. This is horrible audio. I apologize. It's terrible.
I don't know. We got a newer listener. Oh, by the way, I got some feedback.
Toys.
See, I think he's fine with us using his name. And if he's not, I talked to him enough that he'll tell me he's not. So we did get some feedback from someone that says that they wish that we didn't spend as much time talking about feedback, which I get. But the cool thing is we're getting the feedback so we can talk about it. At least I think that's pretty cool. So.
Yeah. There
what
will
is
be...
this?
I have no
idea. I went to technically.work. I've done this a couple of times. And all of a sudden I'm finding like LinkedIn links and some lady named Ashley Batts. And I'm like, who in the heck is... And then I realized I'm on the wrong website.
It's the actual page.
Yeah. Remember, it's that someone got that, and they're stealing her name.
Oh, I think okay. I remember this now. Yeah. That's bad.
But it throws you off when you think you're going to your website. Pinecast.
Yeah, I thought about registering, but I figured it would be too confusing for people. Technically work.ing is what it was going to be.
You can get a .ing.
Yeah, well, I feel like that would be too confusing.
Yeah, I'm glad you do not. That's one of those things that Cloud Code would be like, hey, are you sure you want to use this domain name? Because I can't see it anywhere.
That's what Gemini Personal would be like. Are you sure you really want to do this? Like, are you really going to buy that? Because you're going to think about it in like 6 months. You're like, that is the dumbest domain ever registered. You're never going to use it.
So do you want to talk about this? Personal... I don't remember. I don't remember the name of it, but I called Demasi today, and I'll loop back, and I said, Google Now is becoming real again.
Yeah. I think it's Gemini Personal or Gemini Personalize. I mean, I could look it up, I guess, since I'm in the browser already. Google now. Oh, never mind. Y'all need to hear me. But yeah, basically what Google has done, which again, all I can say is like it's about time, because they've had access to the data. Well, I don't say they had access to the data. It's the wrong way to put that. It's already enough of a myth that everybody's listening to you, and that's why you see ads for stuff that you were just talking about. But what Google has done is they're now going to allow you to more deeply connect your Gemini to your email. Your Gmail email, granted. I mean, if you're over here on Microsoft, like, Copilot is your friend, maybe. But your Gmail, your calendar, your photos, all of that stuff, your Drive, which you've been able to sort of do, but they're just going to deepen the connection. So, like, instead of you having to say, search my mail and then tell me how much money I spent on domains in 2025, you could just say, how much money have I spent on domains in the past year? And it'll know to go search your mail. That's a bad example, because it's probably the only way you're going to get those receipts. Let's say, how much money did I spend at Sam's Club in 2025? So instead of saying go search my mail, you can say just how much money did I spend at Sam's Club in 2025? And it will check your mail, obviously, but it'll also go through your photos and see if you snapped a picture of any receipts, or took a screenshot of a receipt and saved it in your Google Photos. Maybe it'll probably browse through Drive to see if you have any PDF copies that, it couldn't find. And it'll try to correlate all that and then tell you, in 2025, you spent $23,492.62 at Sam's Club. And since I randomly made up that number, now I'm actually curious to know what the answer is. So I'm going to calculate that. I'll tell people the next show. How much money did Spiral spend? Did Spirals LLC, the business, spend at Sam's Club in 2025? I will get that answer for you by the next show, because now I really want to know, is that number anywhere near close to what I think it is? I would not be shocked if that was the number or if it was close. Which is the thing. Like, think about that for a second. Like, I would not be surprised if it was that much money.
That's intense. That's a lot. But you're profiting on it, so that means you made more than that. So,
yeah,
at least one would hope, or you would stop buying from Sam's Club.
I mean, I wouldn't have any money to buy anything if I wasn't making no money.
True. Yeah.
You know. And even though I probably am because I'm gonna do the analysis at some point anyway, so that'll be good. I'm gonna figure out how much I spend at Sam's. I'm gonna figure out how much I've made off the stuff at Sam's. That's not gonna be as clean as I would like it to be, because my not that I don't have the records, but my organization of the information is not as clean as it would need to be for me to say, hey, yeah, I bought this stuff at Sam's and I put it here, and I put this much of that product here in this location, and then this location made that much money, and then I can kind of, I say I haven't what's the word? I haven't really organized. It's not the right word, but I haven't organized the data in such a way that type of analysis is super possible, but I can get pretty close to guessing. I can figure out exactly what I spent, and I can get a fair number based off what I tend to buy and what I know I probably put somewhere close to what I made. So that's a goal for next year, is to be able to actually correlate that data in a better way. So how much money did I spend at Sam's, and how much did I make off of the product just from Sam's? That's the thing I've been working on, getting that type of data so that I can pull those sorts of numbers. But it'll be interesting to see how much I made. But let's say, just for an example, the number was what I said it was, is what I spent at Sam's. And let's say I made, $52,000 at Sam's. You know what's still going to irritate the hell out of me? Is the fact that I sent somebody to Sam's during the summer and they bought the things that I did not tell them to buy, and I ended up not being able to sell that product because either, in a couple of instances, the product was too small and people just didn't read the box and realize, oh, that's a little bitty oatmeal pie and it's not going to vend. So now I got a bunch of oatmeal pies in a box and ain't nobody going to freaking eat. So I had to throw those away. I'm going to be
sure to get them away for Christmas presents.
Well, I mean, it was too late at that point, man. I bought them in the summer. Or the person that got sent to Sam's with a shopping list, with a list that says, get these chips in the 30 count box. So if the box says 50 count, don't pick up the damn box. Yep. Nope. You bought me like 4 or 5 of those, so I don't sell those size chips. So what am I going to do with that? And I'm not going to mix up my inventory to a point of some of them I did sell out in a couple of places. I put them out in a few places to sell, but I can't screw up my overall inventory and numbers and pricing like that because, now just for this short limited time, I have these little bags. So we're going to sell them for $1. No, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. So that's still money I lost, right? So no matter, even if I, more than doubled the amount that I spent at Sam's in profit, I'm still going to be annoyed by those mistakes. I don't know what that should tell a person about me. It should probably tell me something about myself. But we ain't having that conversation. We're talking about Gemini personalization. That's the thing. And you should check it out if you have access to it.
You should, because I think it's rolling out slowly.
That's what it is. Personal intelligence. That's what it's called.
Personal intelligence.
Going on, there's other things you can do. I read a funny little post from The Verge. I was scrolling through my feed reader. I've been using NetNewsWire. Like, I installed it on the phone, and I was like, I'm going to check it out for a little bit. And, I keep going back to it, and I don't know really why, because there are certain things about it I don't like. There's features that it doesn't have that Lyra does have, but, I keep going back to NetNewsWire. So I need to figure that out. But anyway, there's little... one of the Verge quick posts, and somebody, what was the thing? Oh, Gemini is the Gemini personal intelligence. Basically, I don't remember the exact way they put it, but basically it was like, it helps out the antisocial person, because now instead of asking, because one of the advertisers, I guess they showed, had somebody asking about buying tires, instead of talking to the employee of the tire place that was 10 feet away, you're going to have a conversation with your phone about helping you pick your tires. I started to post it on Mastodon, but I didn't have time to write the comment that I wanted to write to it, which was, yeah, but do you know how many times I've been in a store like that and asked the employee that works at the store about a thing and they don't know anything?
Or they pretend like they know, oh, it's this. And then you're like, I don't think it is. Oh, no, it is this.
Pretty sure it ain't that, because I already have looked this up a little bit before I came to talk to you. So, nope. Or they're Googling on their phone. they're talking to
what? I'll use my Claude and get this information real quick. All right,
but the other interesting thing to me about the personal intelligence features is a lot of what has been sort of described at this point matches what Apple kind of announced in 2024, WWDC, right? That didn't ship. And since they're going to be using Gemini, a version of Gemini, I feel like I need to try to make sure I qualify that the right way. They're basically getting a build of Gemini, and I imagine Google will keep updating it with new stuff or whatever, but they're getting a customized build of Gemini to run on their own private compute. So it's not even like, it's not like the thing we have now where like you can connect GPT to Siri, and when you talk to Siri, you can also have it ask GPT, or if it's stupid and doesn't know the answer, it'll go ask GPT. If you allow it to just do it whenever it wants to do it. That's not a default setting. This won't be that sort of setup. This will be, you're talking to Siri and it's hitting Apple's cloud and then it's coming back. But the models that they're using is like, Google is licensing Gemini to them, basically. Like, they're not using Google servers like me and you would be using if we just go to gemini.google.com or whatever it is to use Gemini today. Is using the model customized and tailored for Apple, so they get to do all of their encryption and all of that and yada yada yada. So, but the features that they've announced in personal intelligence for Gemini, I feel like should be a part of the feature set that is going to be available to Apple to build on top of and hook into their system. So maybe we'll start to get some smarter things where I can say to the assistant that is on my phone, hey, you, remind me the next time I'm talking to Mike to ask him about his Stream Deck, because I'm curious if I should get one or not. And instead of me setting a reminder to do that, because I'm not going to do that, I don't even use reminders, and I can't do that in Todoist because it doesn't know when I'm talking to you. It will remind me when I'm talking to him, like, hey, Mike's calling. Like, hey, Mike is calling, and don't forget to ask him about the Stream Deck. It's like, oh, and I answer the phone. Hey, Mike, listen, you have a Stream Deck. Are you using it at all, Mike?
I am not.
Oh, man, see, this is a serious question, too, because it's on, the Stream Deck Plus is on sale, and it has knobs. And I was like,
knobs?
I kind of want to buy this, but let me ask Mike how his experience has been with this, which is kind of how we got there. Because I literally just
wait, does it really? Is it on sale and does it really have knobs? Because I might be interested. I'm thinking Reaper. Like, if I'm in Reaper, can I adjust the track volumes or the panning with knobs?
I would imagine you could script it.
I don't need to buy it. I don't need to buy it.
It really is on sale for $159.
All right, you buy it and tell me what you think.
I don't know about that. Let me call our friend of the show, Amanda, and ask her if she has a Stream Deck. Well, I don't have the patience or time to fight with inaccessible software. So, like, if I'm gonna have to do that dance, and I'm not gonna buy it right now, because I definitely don't have time to deal with it right now, and I don't need to buy anything else. It's just gonna sit in the drawer for, I don't know, 18 months, because I'll forget about it in 6 months, and then it'll be a year before I'm like, oh, I have one of those Stream Deck things. Let me pull that out. How does this work? Why did I buy this? But yes, it does have knobs. So my understanding of just a brief look at the Verge does this to me all the time. It's like, oh, such and such has this thing on sale at its lowest price ever. And it's like, oh, man, I don't need to buy that. Stop. I'm going to put a filter in feed bin so I don't see those kind of posts. But it looks like it has the same buttons as the traditional, as the original, like, well, I'm not going to say the original, but the kind of basic, the smaller Stream Deck, I think it has 8 buttons.
Okay.
But what makes this one better is that it has, I think, 2 knobs. And the knobs can be twisted and they can also be pressed. To do functions. And there's, some capabilities of like, oh, well, if I press it once, it does this, but if I press it twice, it does that, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
One example they gave is like you could use this to cycle through songs on a playlist and then press the button to make it play. Or like with the regular Stream Deck, it would have taken 2 or 3 buttons to make something like that happen.
Yeah,
and you
it
can do
would.
all of that with just this knob. And I was like, no, I definitely.
No, I'm not using mine though. The software was clunky last time I played with it. So,
I put it in to-do to remind me Monday. So if you get the time to like just plug it in and download the software and take a quick look at it, and like, it's gotten better. Because I seem to remember Amanda telling me either she found a. So this is how I vaguely remember this, and I'm gonna have to call her because she won't hear this episode before probably that cell goes off. But this is what I vaguely remember. I know she got help from someone initially with programming her Stream Deck. I can't remember if she mentioned to me that the software was getting better with accessibility or that there was some third-party tool that somebody had started putting together that was able to interface with the software and make it better. But it would be an interesting thing. Another interesting thing, which I'm going to have to find the name of, which I will, that Mike should absolutely buy.
No.
Oh, man.
I'm done buying anything.
Because I want to buy it. I'm not even saying like Mike should just buy this because I'm trying to make you buy it. Wait, what happened? Wait. Mac Geek. Oh, I didn't put the Gab. Okay. It's like, man, how did I end up on Wikipedia? Did I donate to Wikipedia last year? I think I did. But anyway, CES. I think it's CES. It's a company, small companies. I think they're still building this. I don't think it's even available to buy yet. But it may be. I'm going to find it. But it's kind of a modular mixing board. So picture this, Mike. You buy a piece for $150 and it's your faders. It's just faders. It's sliders. So you can move stuff up and down, adjust your volume. And it's small. You can take it with you on the road. And it's motorized faders. So if you start screwing with the volume and sound source for Zoom, for example, it'll move the fader for Zoom up to where you did it, right? So motorized faders are really cool. Nobody else cares about this, but Mike cares about this just like I do. Now, let's say you realize like, I need a couple of, additional mic inputs. Well, then you just buy the mic input module and you clamp it on, snaps onto your fader modules, and now you got what you need. But basically, it's modular, so you only taking you only buy the pieces you need. 2, you only, for a travel situation especially, you're only taking the parts that you actually need to take with you. And it still connects to your computer over USB. It ain't no weird, cable or something. Although I'm going to find it for you in a minute and send it to you.
Okay. At first I was like, no, I don't need it. But I'm thinking of like flying to convention and stuff. Just grab the stuff you need and, and then you can start building on. Oh man, so I have a couple of things here that I'm talking about. One, I am going to play with Claude more. But I told ChatGPT that I'm thinking about breaking up with it, and I said it nicer than that. But I need a comprehensive profile to help another AI understand how best to work with me. And it provided all of the information. I had Claude generate a prompt for ChatGPT, and then I gave that prompt to ChatGPT. It gave me data about myself. I copied that prompt back over to Claude, and Claude said, "This is incredibly helpful. Thank you for all of the details, and now I know a lot more about how to best work with you." And then it went over all the stuff that it can help with. And yeah, it was very comprehensive. And the one thing I'm going to complain about, and you already know it, because I'm sure you complained about it, is there are not headings in its responses. I don't know if I can tell it to start its responses with headings, but
Try telling it, because I have noticed since I recently went back to the web interface, because Claude's web interface was so horrible, like I just wouldn't use it. Like I actually wasn't even, I started paying for Claude after tinkering just a bit with Claude code in the terminal. I was like, okay, this is really good. Like, yeah, okay, you can get my freaking $20 a month. Jerk.
Got it. I'll start my responses with headings from now on. Now we'll see if it actually does, because...
yeah. But I've noticed, and the web interface, since I've gone back to it, I would say probably in the last week or so. I would say sometime after you first told me Doug was trying to get you to use Claude Code, and you told me about the thing where Doug was looking at this software, and he was like, oh, I think I could fork this and build my own thing. I went back to the web interface, and I was like, I'm going to say something. This will tell me if Doug listens to the show or not. You got to cut that part out, though. So Doug doesn't strike me as the type that, spends a ton of time in the terminal. So I was like, oh, he's probably using it in the web interface. I should go check it out again, because I hadn't looked at it in a while. And as I was just doing random queries and things, I noticed that it was putting headings in a lot of places. It was not putting, which I've noticed also GPT is not doing this lately. It doesn't start its response with a heading. Like there's always a bit of text above that first heading of its response. Sometimes it's just, with GPT, like, Chat GPT said, and then it goes into a heading. And then sometimes there's a little paragraph of stuff or whatever. And it's like, oh, I kind of wish I would have heading that so I could have read it. But I've noticed I've been getting headings, and I told it to do headings a long time ago. I also told it to fix its interface and make it more accessible. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that helped at all or not, but I'm really liking Claude Code a lot. I'm gonna start playing with the actual Claude Code part of it in the web. I just connected up a few repos to it. I'm gonna have it help me do some cleanup stuff and see if we can make a deploy script and get some sites up on some servers, because I got my brand spanking new 8 gigabyte, 150 gigs of storage. I was going to say AMD, but I don't think it's an AMD chip. It's probably an Intel chip. But anyway, x86 server set up, and I migrated all the sites over that I needed to migrate over, and the rest of them I was like, oh, screw it, because either I'm not actually hosting those anymore anyway, and they've just been sitting there.
Yeah.
Or, I think that's it.
You do know you can install Claude Code on that server directly and have it help set up your server directly.
Yeah, that seems slightly reckless at this point. I ain't quite that. It ain't that great.
You're not trusting it that much. That's how Doug's using it, though. He's been installing it on his Rack Nerd server because he got a couple of them, and he's having it set different things up. So
I'm probably actually going to go get another one too, guys. I don't know, but that's a good deal.
It is
a good deal,
it
man.
is.
I really want the one that I was like, hey, Mike, I could take this and do my own Linode. I could just virtualize a whole bunch of it. Like, yeah, but why? And I was like, yeah, that's a good question. Also, it was $155 a month, but man, it was a big server.
Yeah,
it was really beefy. Yeah, I may actually try that with a server that I put up for testing stuff. But this is a server that I had spin up WP configure, and
my comment to Doug was, "Oh, it could help me do some creative things with Asterisk, because that's all text files." Like,
yeah.
So, do we want to talk about this piece of feedback we got? Did you read it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
so
I don't know. It depends.
We had someone leave us feedback. They are from Australia, and they are not Amanda, but they're a new listener to the podcast. So
there's
appreciate
somebody
them.
besides Amanda and Garth that lives in Australia. I did not. I thought there was the only two. I'm kidding.
I mean, so
I do know that Australia has more kangaroos than they do people. I know that is a thing.
They want us to continue our work. And then they have
continue my work too, because I
questions
to have my bills
about
paid.
Squarespace.
Oh yeah, I did read that email. So at some point, I'm going to do some testing with Squarespace. I haven't gone back to it myself. I was basing our conversation about Callum's question a few weeks ago on hearing from Taylor. Shout out to Taylor about using it, and somebody else also told me that they use it. That it's like, oh yeah, it's gotten a little easier to deal with. I think Taylor specifically told me the app on iOS was pretty good now. But I haven't personally gone and looked at it yet, mostly because I don't have a specific need to go look at it. And I say that from a perspective of like everything that I'm trying to do and work on right now are things that I need to get done. Like they need to get done either because it's going to make my life easier in some way once I get these things resolved, or there are things that I am way behind on that I was supposed to have done 6 months ago. And now that I finally got caught up on the vending stuff to where I could actually take a freaking day off and not be sitting here like, oh man, I'm really
it's weird to call you and you be home. Just saying.
Yeah, man, I know. It feels weird to be home. Like it feels like it's a freaking weekend. It's not. And also, I'm happy because it has been cold over here today. It is supposed to be colder tomorrow, and I do not have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And to be clear for people listening that are vendors, because I know we have a few vendors that listen to our show. There are things I could have done. There are some locations I could have went and visited. And had these been nicer days, like had it been warmer days, I probably would have spent at least a day just going back up to my rest area, just like cleaning my machines off. And probably doing something to clean up for the south side part of that rest area, because I don't think the workers are working over there because ain't nobody blowing no leaves out, and like that's irritating to me. But it was cold, and I didn't have to get out in the cold. Not that I wouldn't, because I've done it, but no, I didn't have to. Like I could actually give myself a break, focus on doing some other things, get paperwork, make sure I stay up on the paperwork, which I need to get those things turned in tomorrow. And I actually got a lot of stuff done in other areas. The only thing that kind of restricted my working here as of late is occasionally the audio on my computer just decides like, oh, yep, nope, you're connected to Bluetooth and I don't want to talk to Bluetooth right now. So we're having a minute and I don't want to talk to it. So yeah, no audio for you. But other than that, I've gotten, getting caught up on things, which is nice. Like I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to get back to work next week, seriously, and I might go do some stuff Saturday or Sunday or something, depending on what the weather's like. But all of that to be said, everything that I'm working on right now, like I really, even though it sounds like I've been tinkering with Claude Code, like it's literally been like, hey, I need to write a script that does this thing. I got the YouTube, I have the video downloader thing working on the Mac, but it's mostly because I've been spending time in shortcuts trying to automate some of the little tasks that I need to do when I'm on the go. And they don't get done, or they don't get done efficiently because I don't do them right then, because like I don't have time right now. And then you're supposed to do it when you get home. I'll do that when I get home. And then you get home, and then this happens, and that thing goes on, and then this kid has these questions, so you're sitting there explaining this to the kid, and then you eat, and then you're like, you know what, I'm really sleepy. And there's not a phone, there's not a system, there's not a personal intelligence assistant. It's like, hey, I know you're sleepy, but before you go to bed, don't forget about this thing. You're like, oh yeah, I can go do that thing. But at this point, I'm sleepy, and I've also forgotten about the thing that I said 8 hours ago I was going to do when I got home. So that's how all that goes. I was just telling Mike today, interestingly enough, that I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up getting an Ultra Apple Watch. Mostly, the battery life is interesting to me, yes, but mostly for the action button, because then I can just press that one button and have it basically make my own Plod. For people who don't remember Plod, Plaud.
That's in the back of one of your drawers, huh?
Actually, it's on the nightstand because I plugged it up, charged it up, and after I found this stupid freaking charger, I hate these proprietary chargers. But after I found this stupid charger, I charged it up because I was like, oh, let me take a look at their app again. And the reason I was looking at their app, well, let me tell people what the Plod is for a second, and I'll tell you why I was looking at the app. So Plod is that thing. It's like they make a little pen, and then they have like a flat credit card size thing that I think that attaches to the back of your phone with MagSafe or something. But you press it, and it'll record your conversations. And then it will process those recordings and give you AI summaries, and you can go in and customize, the templates that it uses. Or based off the context of the conversation, it can use certain templates. Or like this was a meeting, so it summarizes meeting notes with action items. Whereas this was just me rambling about stuff that I needed to do, so it makes a to-do list, blah, blah, blah. there's been a few items like this. The B that me and Mike had was similar to this thing, but the Plod first off had and has a means of making income. They charge you a subscription for more recording time and more processing and more features. So they came out with a strategy to make money. B was just like, oh yeah, give us $50 and then it's free forever until we figure out what we're doing. Hence the reason they got bought by Amazon and nobody's bought Plod yet. I do appreciate this about Plod. There's a lot I don't appreciate about them, but I do appreciate this about them. They have done the work from when they first started to where they are HIPAA compliant. They have some other privacy letters that I recognize. I just don't remember them at the moment. They're not super important, but they've done the steps to really make sure like they've got certified for the privacy that they're using for your content, right? They've done the work. It's not just a claim that, oh, your data is private. It's like, no, we got these certifications. You're not getting that certification if you ain't following the rules. So I do appreciate that about them. Their app is still horrible. It's not completely broken and unusable, but it's more filling than I feel like I want to do, especially for something that I have to actually pay a subscription for. Like, nothing annoys me more when you have inaccessible apps, unusable interfaces, and I'm paying you money. You're making money, so which means you could hire somebody to fix this. Can't say you don't know about it, because not only did I send feedback when I first got my device,
but I know several others that have.
Yeah, I would bet money that Jonathan Mosen sent feedback, because he did a review of it on his show. And I'm pretty sure he's not the only one, but he's one I would bet money sent feedback because he talked about it on his show. So he probably sent him a clip to his show and some more feedback, and probably feedback he got from listeners of his show that bought one too. So yeah, I don't like that. But the reason I was even looking at the Plod is because they announced a new Plod device at CES. It's the Plod Pen S. Here's the difference and why I was looking at it. And why I was like, oh, let me go check out their app before I stupidly buy this thing, and then it ends up sitting in the drawer and I have to dig it out in a year and figure out where the hell this charger is. This one, so the problem with the first one, and most important this out, and I think I talked about it too when I kind of went over my immediate usage of it. It's just a flat device. At least the pen is. I don't know what the Plod Note, that's what it's called. I don't know what that one looks like, other than it's supposed to be a flat thing that can attach to the back of your phone. So it's got to be pretty thin-ish. But the pen is a small oval-shaped device that you can put on a band and wear around your wrist, or it has a little magnetic clip and you can clip it like to your collar or something, which is cool. Like, nice, very, very nice setup. A lot of what they did physically is great. What they didn't do physically great with the first one, with the pen, is the whole thing is something that you press down on. So like, Mike, you think about the B and how it was shaped, and like it had that little button in the middle that you would press. Yeah, you weren't sure if you were recording or not recording, because you didn't know if it was recording before you pressed the button, or if it and you stopped it, or if it wasn't recording and you pressed the button and it started, right? You couldn't really be certain. So think of that whole top face. Instead of having that one little button,
you push the whole face.
You have to press. You're pressing down on the whole thing, kind of like your trackpad, right? Like if you press your trackpad, it's kind of like that, right? So you now it does have vibratory feedback. Which is something I thought would be useful, because I remember hearing Mosen talk about it before I bought it, and I was like, okay, that might actually work, except it wasn't always clear to me if this was a double vibration or a single long vibration. So there's oftentimes when I was trying to use it, legitimately trying to use it, and I did not capture that recording, because it wasn't recording, because I wasn't certain, and I didn't want to press it again and not record. I'm like, well, I just put it on and press the thing and it should be recording me, right? And I would go back through my recordings and I'm like, oh man, it didn't get that one at all.
And then deal with a clunky app to find out if you got the recording.
To find out that it wasn't there, right? And like, this is actually me trying, like, this was literally me calling up, my personal assistant, or having my personal assistant said, take a note, and I give you the note, right? When I come back to you for the note, I'm really expecting you to have that note, because once I've delegated it to you, it's gone out of my brain, man. It's out of here.
And then you come back to it, and it's like, I'm sorry, I don't have that note.
I'm sorry, but my pen wasn't writing. What the heck do you mean your pen wasn't writing? Or
almost worse, it's gaslighting you. You never told me to keep a note.
Man, don't make me punch in your face. Oh man. So the Pen S actually has a separate physical button that you press. And I was like, oh man, that sounds great. Like this thing could be a thing. It could start, it won't be the end all be all, but it could be, a good start for me right now, especially with things still being a little frantic and me still, trying to catch up on other aspects of my life and get on top of things and in front of things and all of that, and get through some things. This could be a good, not necessarily stopgap, but a good launching point for what I've been, trying to also work on the side, which is really figuring out how to build a personal agent or a personal assistant, similar to what Google kind of has announced, but I want some of the stuff to be local and has to tie up across, a couple of operating systems, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. We'll talk more about that later on in the future. But, this could be a point of like, that is my major, not my major, but that's one of the biggest issues for me is quickly capturing data without friction. Because I have many ways to capture data on my phone. There's drafts, there's to-do-list, there's, all sorts of ways I could capture stuff. I've tried working on some shortcuts. iOS annoys me because you've got a shortcut that needs to feed something to an app, and when you hold down your little action button, it's like, oh, nope, you got to unlock your phone first. And it's like, what the hell are we doing this for? So removing that friction for getting the data, the information captured. From there, I can put to work some shortcuts or some scripts or whatever to move data where it needs to go. So, oh, this is a thing that should go into Todoist. Use some AI to analyze it. Like, oh, okay, well, this looks like a reminder. I'm going to put that into Todoist. This is a note about a thing that he wants to try out. So I'm going to move that over here with this tag and drafts, et cetera, so on and so forth.
Apple Watch might be the answer because you're logged into your Apple Watch. So you can hit that button and it should run the shortcuts.
Have my shortcut run that at least starts me down the pathway of that information getting captured, and use some AI. Like, I don't care about sending stuff. I do care about sending certain stuff, but I don't care about running like just a rambling conversation. Ramble, right? I mean, I don't want to ramble all the time though. It's just so that let's start here and feed it here or do this. Feed it to the AI, and the AI processes it. And if for some reason you either don't get an answer out of it or you can't figure it out, just deposit that text in a draft with hashtag follow up, right? And when I go look through drafts, there is a hashtag follow up workspace. And that way I haven't lost any information. If it didn't end up in Todoist the way I wanted it to automatically with the LLM and all of that happening, well, at least the information is still there. So when I manually go through drafts, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a thing I meant to do. Let me add that to Todoist manually myself right now.
Which Raspberry Pi do you have?
I have all of the Raspberry Pi.
Do you have a 5?
Which Raspberry Pi don't I have? I have a 5 that's...
Okay. I just sent you a link.
So it has 16 gigs of RAM.
Okay, that's perfect. Buy that instead of Plod. It's $130.
Oh, you're talking about this hat?
Yeah, that just was announced.
Somebody's done a little research and they're like, if you get the 16 gig 5 Pi, 16 gig of RAM 5 Pi, it'll do your processing a little faster because it doesn't have it's 10 watts of power versus the 3 watt limitation of power for the hat. So
yeah, do you know
see how that shakes out?
This was the 2 or the 1 that they were reviewing?
They were talking about this new one. They're like the extra RAM really didn't resolve
with
the
8 gigs of RAM on it.
All the power, it doesn't resolve it because it's not able to use as much power as the Pi itself can. But I actually just stuck that in Todoist before we got on the call.
Oh, okay. Because I have a Raspberry Pi 4B, not a 5, and it looks like this requires the 5, which is fine, but someone else can buy it and run some local LLMs on it, and then use their iOS shortcuts to send recordings to the Mac to get transcripts of them, and then send that transcript to a local LLM and have it sort all the data and do all that while you're at work, all from your Apple Watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, I may, and I'm not going to, because I don't actually... I should need to see which Pi I got. I know I just bought a Pi module that has a ton of RAM in it. I think the 5 that I bought that's still in. So if anybody really wants it and you reach out, feedback at technicallyworking.show, or you hit us up on Mastodon, you really want a Pi, I'll go look it up. I know it's at least 8 gigs because I think that may have been the biggest one they had out. But I still have a Pi 5, 8 gig. In a
Strip
box.
the RAM and sell the RAM separately. Bring your own RAM. You can have the Pi, but you got to bring your own RAM.
But I still actually have a Pi 5 in the box. I have to go get that box. And like, I've never opened the box because I bought it when we were still at the old house. And I was like, well, I'm not going to take it out now because we're going to move. And there's no point in me doing all this. And then I got over here and things went crazy. So it's still in the box. And I'm not going to say I don't need it or I don't have a use for it at all, but it's on.
You're just not using it.
I'm not using it at the moment, and it's still in the box sealed up. So if somebody really wants it, and makes a nice offer, I might sell it. Because I do have a Pi 5 CM module for my Home Assistant that I need to put together. I'm gonna be honest. It's not just lack of time that I hadn't put that together. It's also like I really need to spend time looking at the documentation before I start down that path with Home Assistant. Because nothing's worse than starting to set something up and then you're like, I don't know what to do from here.
And then you get frustrated and you walk away.
And then you don't come back to it for 6 months. You're like, oh well, now it doesn't even work at all. Well, I didn't realize I needed this thing.
Yeah. So before we wrap it up, this email that we went down, I don't even remember how it got us where we ended up.
Yeah, because I started talking about what I was doing. So to circle all that back around, I will. Well, one of us, probably Mike, because I think he's in Discord more than I am. Certainly, because I think I was only in Discord like right before the end of the year to send a message to Alex Lindsay and wish him good luck on his new job. And I should have been more proactive and reached out to him well before now, because maybe I'd have got a chance to actually pick his brain personally about a few things. That'll never happen now because now he works for Apple, so he ain't talking to nobody.
Nope.
But that's how that got sidetracked. We will do some follow up with people we know that have used it. One of us at some point, probably me, because I am interested in seeing how they've improved. If the AI makes it better. Here's the thing, and I don't know anything about Squarespace's AI specifically.
Oh, I was pulling the email up to see what what are we asking people about?
But what I have noticed, one, how good is the accessibility really? But two, does the AI make it even better or easier to work with? I'm not saying this to specifically Squarespace's AI because I haven't used it. But what I have noticed from a lot of companies along the lines of your Squarespaces of the world, that have implemented AI inside of their systems that, didn't natively have a place for AI, I would say, to begin with, that are supposed to help you within their product interface, it's very hit or miss. I would say there's a lot more hallucination happening there than you see day to day with ChatGPT or Gemini sometimes. So I wouldn't bet on it being more helpful necessarily. What I've heard people say about it just tangentially from, podcast ads mostly, it's like, oh, it helps you, it can help you with designing your site. So like, oh, I want to, meta box would not be the right term for Squarespace, but I want a rotating banner at the top that cycles through my product list, right? That's something it could probably help you with, but also, it would probably get it wrong a couple of times before it got it right. I'm just saying. So I wouldn't look at that as being like, oh, well, they got the AI to solve the problem. Like I would never look at anybody's situation or solution like that right now, period, and say, oh, well, they have AI there, so that will help work around any deficiencies in their interface that could, that are not accessible or usable to me. Now, will it probably help you better with developing your site, like actually building or putting the right code or giving you the right code to put in to do a thing? Yeah, probably so, because the LLMs are all pretty decent at code most of the time. It helps if you know a little bit of what they're doing. Because if I can look at some PHP and tell you it's wrong, like, then you know you're wrong. And if I can look at JavaScript, I'm like, nope, that don't make any sense. I don't even think that's going to work. And then you go run it in the console and it doesn't work. And you're like, yep, it didn't look like it was going to work. You're really screwy. But we'll follow up on it. As I said, I know Taylor has used it. I'm frantically over here trying to remember who was the other person I knew from the blind community that had used Squarespace recently. But we will do some follow-up with those individuals to see what they think, if they have any recent thoughts about it, and we'll try it out at some point. Just to give it a shot.
The other comment they made leads us into the next section of our show, which will be a wrap-up. And they suggested a tool called Buy Me a Coffee. And I've heard of this tool. A lot of people.
What that was. Okay.
Yeah.
VoiceOver read that kind of
because he forgot the A. And I think that's what messed it up. He sent buymecoffee.com, and I went there, and that's more like a portfolio website that someone created. But what he meant was buy me a coffee. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. I just saw a portfolio. I'm like, yeah, I'm done here. This is the wrong page. But Buy Me a Coffee is a membership site where you can build your own membership based on tips, one-time and reoccurring tips. They take 5% of your tips, so that's how they make their money.
Hold on. Wait a minute now.
What?
Carry on. No, you know I don't like those numbers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they take 5%. Right now with the tip jar tool that we use from Matt at Pinecast, he takes 2.9%. And actually, it's not him taking it. It is Stripe. Buy Me a Coffee does use Stripe. They pay out on Wednesdays. And they are depositing the 95% of your income into your Stripe account on Wednesday. So that's how that works. But I did want to clarify real quick because I went through the process to see how it worked. If you go to technicallyworking.show and you activate the tip jar link, you have an option to pick an amount from $1 to $150. And so you pick that amount, and those are US dollars. And once you activate that, then there are two buttons. The first button is one time, and the second button is monthly reoccurring. It just says reoccurring. If you hit that reoccurring button, then you can set up a reoccurring subscription for that amount. Or if you hit the one time, then it's just a one-time tip. So it's like throwing some change in our jar that we don't have right now. And then after you do that, it'll walk you through asking for your name and your email address and payment information.
Yeah, so to sum all that up, you can do one-time tips, or you can do a recurring tip. With the tip jar that we're currently using through Pinecast. And to be fair, that 5% ain't too bad. I think Mike flipped the numbers around and said, deposit that 95% into your Stripe account. 95% sounds way better than the 5% they took away. But for some services that exist out there, they're taking way more of that. And you're paying them for the thing. I would imagine that Buy Me a Coffee is not a charge you, the benefactor, anything. It's just they're taking 5% to cover their costs in addition to not in addition, inclusive of the Stripe fee, which is a thing.
Yeah, I think that is correct because their website says you get the 95% of what your
so they're including the Stripe fee
supporters
and the
pay
5% that they're taking.
So really, they're only getting 2.1%.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
That's not nearly as bad as some things I've seen. I still personally don't like the 5% because that just seems, man, listen, I need all of my pennies. All right, stop it. But for a service that isn't charging you, the customer, or you, the person that is building the community and accepting the tips, like that's actually very reasonable. Because although they shall remain nameless at this point, there is a company that will take, let's see if I remember this right, around 10% of your income that is not inclusive of the Stripe fees, and you're paying them $50 a month for the service. So, put that in your hat. But you can become a tip jar subscriber, as Mike described, and you can choose to do that. And we don't emphasize that enough. So thanks for the feedback from Melbourne on pointing out something that we had not actually really explained before. So I will endeavor to start saying it more. First, thanks to everybody who listens. We appreciate it. Thanks to all the new listeners. Thanks for the feedback. We want to thank our tip jar supporters, especially because, man, listen, I just bought some eggs today. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But we appreciate it because money ain't what it always was, and it ain't flowing as smoothly for some people as it should be. So the fact that you continue to support us, however and whenever you can, we truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can become a tip jar subscriber if you're not, whether it's one time or on a recurring basis, by going to technicallyworking.show and clicking on the support us link, and make your choice, $1 up to $150, and one time or recurring. It's up to you. We're going to throw a party and hang out in Vegas and do a podcast from inside a casino if we get us $150 recurring subscriber though. Well, probably if we get 10 of those, because man, I'm staying in Vegas for 3 days and it's 300 and some bucks. So I ain't even bought no food yet. Anyhow, thanks to everybody for listening. You can follow up with us or send us feedback at feedback@technicallyworking.show. You can interact with us on Mastodon. He's Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. And I am Damasi, Damashe, at technically.social. And you can follow the bot who is about to post a link to this thing that I sent Mike at tw@technically.social. And you can use the hashtag. I'm sorry, I got distracted because I was trying to open Mona. I was like, why is Mona not open? It's because I was typing letters too slow. I'm like, wait, I didn't say delete all my apps, just that one app. You can use the hashtag technically working also. Still don't know if that works across threads or not, so we'll keep working on that. Perhaps at some point, if necessary, one of us will go create a threads account and test it. That probably won't be into 2027, so just telling you, I ain't about to do it, and I don't think Mike got time to do it either.
No.
So, because Mike's
hey, Doys,
some social media.
You have one.
Yeah, listen, we did this before. I wasn't even going to shout out Doys this time because we did it the last 2 times I brought it up. So,
and he hasn't said a thing to us, so, yeah.
I mean, or maybe he sent a thing to us and it didn't work. Like, so you got to at least
I've seen him since those episodes have published, so you would think he would say, hey, did you get my...
I mean, it may not be top of mind, maybe.
True.
I was going to say, hold on, how do I switch to bot? At any rate, we'll figure that out. Federation in the Fediverse is still a thing that is being figured out. So, yeah, we'll carry on. And thank you for listening. This has been episode 140.
Yep.
This has been episode... Mike, you're supposed to say the number.
Oh, 146. That's one of those outtakes we'll probably just leave in there because you always say the number.
Yeah, but
I thought you were looking it up.
No, but you did it last week, and I kind of like how it went. Where I was like, "This has been," because I really couldn't remember if it was 45 or not last week, and you was like, "I was like, this has been episode." You said 145.
145.
I like the way that went, so we're gonna do that.
We are on 146.
Okay. So now I'm in technically working bot. All right.